excited to be here today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that speakeasy, which was amazing.
It was really fun.
Yeah.
What a great group. I
Yeah.
love speaking to yogis. They're open-minded.
Yeah, exactly, which you must not get all the time.
I think people are becoming more open-minded
Yeah.
as a general rule
Of course.
in our society. I think the internet helps that, but we still got a long way to go.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just going to introduce you. I know a lot of people know of you. So David Wolfe, you're an entrepreneur. I'm just going to read it because there's a lot of things on my list. A health speaker, of course. You're also the author of many best-selling books like Superfoods.
Thank you.
Superfoods and Eating for Beauty, and a recipient of many degrees, including a master's degree in nutrition. And you are often referred as the Indiana Jones of superfoods, and known for promoting, amongst many other things, raw diet. I wanted to ask you. We're hearing about sugar-free, fat-free, gluten-free, dairy-free, vegetarian, vegan, raw. Now, people are confused. I'm confused. So what kind of diet, if we want to eat healthy, what kind of diet should we have, should we adopt?
If we've been paying attention to what's happened over the last 30 years in the field of health and health research, we're coming more and more to the opinion that the best thing is what our grandparents ate, our great-grandparents ate. So basically, if the food didn't exist 100 years ago, don't eat it. That's the basic idea. That's what raw food's about. That's what Paleolithic diets are about. That's what ketogenic diets are really about, is like strip it back down to the original food that we ate, which is really going to come back to making sure you eat a lot of plants, a lot of vegetables, a lot of salad, eating fermented foods, right? Foods that have been naturally fermented with friendly bacteria, fermenting vegetables, and then making sure you have the right amount of either protein, fat, or carbohydrates for your metabolism. And like with my metabolism, a high fat, moderate carbohydrate, low protein. That's always worked for me. I'm different than most people. Some people are like, hey, I got to have high protein, low fat, moderate carbohydrate. So you just got to find out what that balance looks like for you, and then figure out, okay, if I'm going to take a dietary approach, and let's say you're Greek, or let's say you're Italian or something, you might want to think about Mediterranean diet, because that's what your ancestors ate. Let's say you're Northern European, but you're living in a Mediterranean climate. Another situation where, hey, maybe consider Mediterranean diet. You got to eat with what's there in your local ecosystem. Eat with your climate.
Okay. And if you want to adopt a raw diet, but you're omnivorous, like how would you do that? Like where would you start? Actually.
Okay, well, I like raw food because raw food is natural and original and real.
Yeah.
And that's an important understanding. It's an important visceral experience for all of us to have, to eat the food raw and find out, okay, this is what raw vegetables are like. This is what raw superfoods are like. This is what raw food is. But I'm also a vegetarian. So I can't tell you to eat raw fish because I don't eat raw fish, and I don't recommend it because there's a lot of parasites in fish. And anybody who's interested in looking into it, just parasite, tapeworm, raw fish. Look into that. It's not pretty. There's an enormous...
So you don't eat sushi?
I don't eat sushi, no. There's an enormous amount of danger when you're eating raw fish that's not talked about. So I'm going to have to be a voice that's going to have to help you to come to look at it. I really would recommend that, if you're going to eat the safest way, you're probably better off cooking the meat and the fish, or at least cooking it to the point where you're not transferring those critters over to you.
And someone who wants to cut meat or dairy or gluten, I guess they should do it one step at a time.
Yes, always better to go slow. Slowly is holy, as we like to say. It's just better. It's going to last longer. People who jump from one thing to the next thing to the next thing, it's not healthy. It's not safe. I had to learn that lesson. Yeah. Just go slowly. It's not a race. And there's so many great things to try, and just expand your mind and open your palate up to new flavors. We made a dish recently at my house, it was essentially like a steamed milkweed fruit. Okay. So the milkweed fruit is kind of like okra.
Yes.
It's like that kind of that texture. One of the most delicious things I've ever had. Never had that before my whole life. And it was just great to be open to it.
Yeah.
And to be like, okay, let me try this out. And all of a sudden we had a new family favorite. Everybody in the family was like, that's it. We're on this now. This is amazing.
Really?
And what a wonderful thing to find a new food or superfood or favorite herb that can be part of the family tradition.
Exactly. And without having to commit to a certain diet, do you have any, are there any small changes that we can make in our day-to-day to have a healthier diet?
Drink a lot more liquids. Drink a lot more water or a lot more herbal tea.
Liquids, it's pretty broad. Like I guess you don't drink a lot of Coke.
Yeah, like not a lot of energy drinks. And when I think of liquids, I think about fresh juices. I think about blended foods and blended
like smoothies.
Smoothies.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I think about water.
Yeah.
I think about herbal tea.
Yeah.
And it's just a great way to kind of skip your meals because as you get older, you can't eat the same amount of food as you used to eat. It's crazy. It's like such a bummer, but it's also good because you're like, oh my God, if I eat 2 meals a day, I'm going to gain weight. I got to get back to 1 meal a day. And that's what happens when you get to like 50. Yeah. So it's just great to be able to do more of your diet as liquid. It just feels better.
So you would eat like 1 meal, but complement with juices.
Yeah, juices or
smoothies
if you have another meal, it's just a salad, something super simple.
Okay.
And maybe it's fruit in the morning.
Yeah.
So you don't have too much calories or density. Really one maybe dense meal a day.
Yeah.
That's all you can really handle anyway. It's a lot of work to prepare even all that.
So just adding a smoothie a day or a fruit juice, a fresh juice a day would be
it's a good step. It's a good step, and it's kind of a meal replacement too.
Yeah.
Yep. Think about blending your kale up with your blueberries, up with your coconut water, and then boom, drink that and be like, okay, I'll skip the food. Let's have this instead. It's kind of fun.
Well, thank you.
Right on. Thank you. That's it.
Thank
all
you
right.
so much.
Thanks, everybody.